So disclaimer, I'm already crying because I love this ministry and these people, so just bear with me. But what's up? I'm Mikayla. I'm 21 years old, and this crazy lady behind me has been mentoring me for the last 10 years, and she thinks she's really funny. But no matter how much you tell her she's not, she'll never stop messing around. But I do truly love her, and she's a big reason why I'm sharing today. So, growing up, I loved to play with anything superheroes. Seriously, I love them, especially Spider-Man. He is the best. I watched them, I tried to act like them, and I suppose with how I grew up, I hoped one would come save me from my house. And this was because I just grew up as a very broken, abused, and scared little girl. I lived with two parents who chose themselves and drugs over me, their own daughter, every single day. And not only was there drug abuse going on, but they made my dad very angry. And he took a lot of it out on me. He would do things like kick me and hit me and throw me. And even drag me by my hair and my wrists and my ankles and just really hurt me. And sometimes I would get away from him and I would run for the bathroom because I was the only room in our house with a lock on the door. And if I was lucky enough to get there, I would just wait till he left. And a lot of times he wouldn't, so I would just sit there and make a bed out of the dirty clothes because I was too afraid to come out and face my parents and what they would do to me. And so this continued for about 6 years. We started getting police visits in middle school, and how do you even begin to talk about something like that? I didn't know, and I wasn't going to tell a scary policeman. So I always said, nothing happened, I'm fine. And not only was school, or home really hard, but school was really hard. I got bullied a lot because I have dyslexia and I don't know how to read like everybody else did, and I didn't dress like everybody else did, and because we couldn't afford it, and my parents never bothered to get me help on those things, and I just felt more different every day, and I just wanted to be normal. And one night in 7th grade, I just couldn't take it anymore. I felt so unwanted and ugly and worthless, so I decided for everyone that it'd be better if I was dead. And so I went to my mom's medicine cabinet, and I tried to overdose on her medication, and I don't remember much from that night, but she did find me and take me to the hospital. And when I came out, they told me that I needed counseling, and we couldn't afford that, so they recommended TreeHouse. The first night I went to their program was support group, and I walked into all of these kids playing basketball and laughing and dancing and eating and chilling and having fun. And then we went into small groups where the kids who were just having fun were sharing about anger and anxiety and depression and fear, and I realized there was people out there who were actually in pain and scared, and I, for the first time, felt like I wasn't alone in the world. And when it came to my turn to speak, Michelle actually was the leader of that small group, and she looked at me in a way that no one else in my life had. She looked at me like she loved me and would die for me, but she didn't even know my name yet. And I'm very thankful for that, and it was really the first time I felt safe to share and be vulnerable. After that, I was pretty hooked on TreeHouse. I went to everything I possibly could, and I just felt like I finally had a home and a safe place and a family that would protect me. TreeHouse loved me so unconditionally. They told me every week that I am lovable, I am capable of doing anything I put my mind to, and I'm worth their time. TreeHouse helped me to work through a lot of things, especially anger towards my family and God. I always wondered why, if God is good, I got put through everything I went through. And I couldn't understand that. And I sat in that anger for a really, really long time. Until one night at a program night for TreeHouse, the staff were giving out Christmas presents, and it was July. So they did this just to give us presents. And my present was a Bible verse that had Jeremiah 29:11 in it, which says, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, but to give you a hope and a future." And in that verse, for the first time, I realized that what I went through and what I was going through isn't meaningless, but that God is using it for the good because he has a future for me, because he loves me. Yeah. Amen. Thank you. So I learned for the first time that the superhero I wanted as a kid was in Jesus Christ all along, no matter how corny that is. He really is my superhero. And when I look back at my life from 10 years ago, living in that house, it's no exaggeration to say that I wouldn't be alive without TreeHouse to tell you my story. Because of them, I know who I am and where my identity is, and that it's not in what I've been through or what's been done to me, and that I am defined by a God who calls me his daughter, whom he loves and is well pleased with. And that's something that can never be taken away from me. In addition, TreeHouse helped me to graduate on time. Yeah, something no one thought was gonna happen. I didn't think I would make it out of high school alive, so this is amazing. And the staff really taught me what it's like to dream and to have, that I'm gonna have a future. And so they got me excited about college. And I wanted to stay with the Christian community that I learned at TreeHouse, so I, by the grace of God, got into the University of Northwestern in St. Paul. Yeah. And I'm now a junior there studying youth and emerging adult ministries. And I've always had a dream to help people who have no one fighting for them, people who've been abused and abandoned and hurt in any way. And last year that dream came true, and Michelle asked me back to New Hope TreeHouse as an intern. And for the last 2 years, I've been able to walk alongside other teens and show them, like, you're gonna get out, you're gonna do this, whatever your story is, that you can see that there's a hope much greater than we could ever imagine. God is truly breaking the chains of drugs and abuse in my family and in me, and I wanna help all these teens to do the same. If there's one thing you could take away from what I'm sharing with you today, it's that no matter what you've done or what you've been through, you are lovable and capable and worthwhile. I'm living, breathing proof that that God uses TreeHouse to transform lives. So thank you so much for listening to my story.